and I am thankful to the organizers for giving me an opportunity to speak before you. And thank you for the kind words, sir. I will not take much of your time because I would like to finish off within 15 to 20 minutes so that we can have dinner at an early time. I have a task of speaking on recent advancements in tuberculosis. I would be speaking on the recent advancement in tuberculosis, on the diagnostics, the treatment, that is drug-resistant tuberculosis, drug-susceptible tuberculosis, and the preventive aspects, particularly the vaccines which are under development. To begin with, we have tuberculosis patients and we had only few investigations. That was the sputum examination, then Mantoux test, and then came the immunoglobulin or the antibody serological test, that is IgG, IgM. But we have few more tests which have come in recent advances. That is the antigen detection test, the sputum examination, the culture-based, the NAT, nucleic acid amplification test, and various volatile organic compounds which can be detected by the eNOS and the cellular immune responses, that is the TB Gold and the other tests. And this is the serological test. The serological test for the diagnosis of active tuberculosis, it has not been recommended by any international guidelines and is not used in developed countries. Even the health ministry and the DCGI have banned the import and sale of TB serological tests because of its inconsistent and imprecise estimates of sensitivity and specificity. We have the breath analyzer test and the lipoarabinomannan estimation in the urine for the screening of high-risk groups, and this is useful for diagnosing TB in HIV co-infected subjects. The other tests which the WHO has endorsed are the culture examination, the automated detection, the molecular line probe test, and the strip specification test, which I would be describing later. Coming to the most important, that is drug-resistant tuberculosis. Most of the time we have rifampicin to which the tubercular bacilli are resistant. And to detect them, we have the gene expert tuberculosis rifampicin assay test. And it is a fully automated NAT test. It provides simultaneous diagnosis of tuberculosis and also the resistance, genotypic resistance to rifampicin. It has a good positive yield, almost 99 to 100% patients who are sputum positive and almost 80% patients with smear negative pulmonary tuberculosis can be detected by this test. The sensitivity for extrapulmonary tuberculosis is almost 80%. The results are available within 2 hours, and it is particularly useful in TB patients with HIV co-infection and in suspected cases of multi-drug resistance tuberculosis. These are the sensitivity and specificity results. The benefits are, you can, as I have already mentioned, you can have the simultaneous detection of tuberculosis and the resistance, genotypic resistance to rifampicin. The results we get within 5 hours. It allows early diagnosis and appropriate treatment. It helps to reduce the spread of multi-drug resistance tuberculosis. This is another test, interferon gamma release assays. It measures the interferon gamma secreted by the T cells, and the two commercial tests which are available are T-spot and quantiferon TB Gold test. The quantiferon TB Gold test, in the blood test, it measures the CMI, cell-mediated immunity response, and it is used to test and diagnose the TB infection. However, it does not differentiate between active tuberculosis and the latent tuberculosis. Now coming to management of tuberculosis, which is an epidemic or it is a national health problem in India, first we need to stop the transmission, which can be done by safe and effective vaccine. Then we want to treat or curb the latent infection, which can be done by adequate vaccination during childhood and adequate drug regimen. Then treatment of active tuberculosis with the most effective drugs, and we need to do the drug sensitivity test for all drugs. To reduce the chances of drug resistance, we need shorter and simpler drug regimen. I will not go into the details. We all know about the classification of first line, second line, and newer drugs. We are also aware about the major adverse reactions with anti-TB drugs, which are used as in the first line drugs. I will rightly jump up to the advancements in drug treatment of tuberculosis. Two new drugs have been recently approved for treatment of multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, that is bedaquiline and delamanid. These have been approved by the US FDA for the treatment of multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, and it has been marketed under the brand name Certero. The presentation is 100 milligram tablets. The mechanism of action is it inhibits the ATPase synthesis of the Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and it acts on both the replicating as well as dormant or non-replicating bacilli. It also is effective on drug-sensitive and drug-resistant mycobacteria. There are no adverse drug interactions with other anti-TB drugs. There is no cross-resistance with the other anti-TB drugs. But one thing you should be aware that it can cause QT interval prolongation. Therefore, you need to monitor the ECG and liver function tests. The dosage is 400 milligram daily for first 2 weeks, followed by 200 milligram thrice weeks, 3 times per week for 22 weeks. And the duration of treatment has been reduced to 6 months. This is another drug which has been approved, delamanid. It is a nitroimidazole derivative. It inhibits the mycolic acid synthesis in the bacterial cell wall. The recommended dose is 100 milligram twice a day for 24 weeks. The new anti-TB drugs which are still in the stage of development are sutezolid, which is a linezolide analog, SQ109, which is an analog of ethambutol, and pritomanid. These are the drugs which are being developed for treatment of drug-resistant tuberculosis. Sutezolide, it acts by inhibiting the bacterial protein synthesis. It has a bactericidal activity, and it has a potential to shorten the treatment duration. It improves the efficacy of the TB regimen if it is included in the treatment regimen. It does not interact with the cytochrome P450 enzymes, and it is a good option for HIV patients having tuberculosis. This is SQ109. It is an analog of ethambutol. It is again active against the drug susceptible as well as drug resistant strain of mycobacteria. It also has a bactericidal action, and it has a synergistic effect with INH and rifampicin. PA824, that is pritomanid, it is also a nitroimidazole derivative. It is again active against the drug susceptible and drug resistant mycobacteria. It has a potent bactericidal effect, and again, it is safe. It has a dual mechanism of action by inhibition of cell wall synthesis, and it is also acting as a nitric oxide donor. It is again active against both the active and dormant tubercle bacilli. It is safe, well tolerated, and efficacious. I'm here for sharing my experience with Rizorin, which is an Indian innovation in drug treatment of tuberculosis. We all have been using rifampicin, but the shortcomings of using rifampicin is there are major limitations because of poor GI tolerance and hepatic tolerance. There are multiple adverse drug-to-drug interactions with rifampicin. And head-to-head, when we compare rifampicin with Rizorin, Rizorin contains piperine, which potentiates the effect of rifampicin. So the amount of rifampicin in Rizorin is less because the piperine is there to potentiate its effect. Head-to-head, when we compare that, the clinical efficacy of Rizorin as compared with rifampicin is almost equal. The GI tolerance is improved and risk of hepatitis is reduced. If all these are beneficial, that helps in the adherence and a treatment positive effect. Because of the lower incidence of gastrointestinal adverse effects and reduced drug-induced hepatitis, the patient is able to tolerate the Rizorin better, the compliance improves, and treatment failures are reduced. There is a reduced relapse rate, and the risk for development of drug resistance is also reduced. Nowadays, it is a preferred choice of treatment in pulmonary as well as extrapulmonary tuberculosis, and it is ideal to switch over the patients who develop intolerable GI side effects and hepatotoxicity with conventional dose of 450 milligram of rifampicin. It is also a useful option in patients who are alcoholics, elderly, malnourished, or having hepatitis. Why we are in search of new anti-TB regimens? Because initially we were using anti-TB treatment, duration was almost 1.5 years. Then it was shortened to 1 year or 9 months. Now it has been shortened to 6 months. And now the newer treatment regimes are monitored for 4 months. And we hope that if we bring it down to 10 days, we would be able to eliminate or reduce tuberculosis and drug resistance. The objectives of new anti-TB regimens is to shorten the duration of treatment and to evaluate new drug regimens. We need to add new drugs to the standard regimen and combine the new drugs. So moxifloxacin, which is available, is a good drug which is being added to the regimens to shorten the duration of treatment. It has been used as an alternative to INH and ethambutol in the patients who are drug sensitive, or who don't have drug-resistant tuberculosis. This was the REMOX trial, where rifampicin and ethambutol was used along with moxifloxacin. And the results, we are waiting for that. These are the combinations which have been used to compare the 4-drug regime, the 3-drug arm, and this 4-drug arm. This is another study, STAND study, that is shortening the treatment by advancing novel drugs. This trial is testing PA with moxifloxacin and pyrazinamide. Initially, we used to give treatment for almost 1 to 1.5 years. The pill burden was so much, the duration of treatment was long, and it was an expensive treatment. Now with this simple, short and affordable regime, we can shorten the duration of treatment at an affordable cost with lower pill burden. This is the next study which is undergoing the phase 3 trial to evaluate the efficacy of new regimen to shorten the treatment duration in multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. Here these drugs have been compared with these 3 drug combinations to shorten the treatment duration to 6 months. Coming to the advances in prevention of tuberculosis, we had only BCG vaccination. This was given in the infants and before the infection. The patients with latent or active disease have not been covered, and the persons who are adults or adolescents and patients with HIV are not protected. Therefore, we need to go ahead, search for a new vaccination schedule. As I've already said that currently BCG is the only available vaccine for tuberculosis, but the efficacy is limited. 2 sets of tubercular vaccines are under development, the BCG replacement vaccines and the boosters to BCG vaccines. To summarize, despite of all advances, TB is a major challenge to the physicians. Rapid diagnosis of TB is possible with the newer diagnostic tests and newer drugs which have a potential to improve the outcomes in multi-drugs resistant tuberculosis have come up, and for treatment of drug-sensitive tuberculosis, the duration have been reduced to 6 months, which is a gold standard, and Rizorin offers an equally effective and well-tolerated option to conventional rifampicin. Thank you.